and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call of board members, please, Amy.
Russo,
Present.
Melvin,
Here.
Schneider,
Here.
Milburn,
Here.
Muggenthaler.
Here.
Approval of the agenda, please.
So move, Mr. Chair.
I'll second.
Motion made by Commissioner Milburn, seconded by Commissioner Muckenthaler to approve the agenda. Any further comments on the agenda from any commissioner at this time? Hearing or seeing none, roll call.
Russo,
Yes.
Melvin,
Here.
Schneider,
Here.
Milburn,
Yes.
Muggenthaler.
Yes.
Here, yes, whatever, same thing. Public comment. Any public comment in regards to agenda items only, please? Hearing or seeing none. New business, Roscommon County 2022 budget review. Jody. Last time I checked, you didn't have anything, but I'm sure you do that now. Give us the bad news.
Okay. First, I'll let Amy know I already emailed this. Missed something, might in there. So the end of 2021 required some unbudgeted transfers. They were roughly 193.5 from the general fund balance to the following funds. Friend of the court was an additional 47,000. Landfill was an additional 16,500. Juvenile detention was an additional $100,000. Child care fund was $30,000. So that took our existing fund balance of $1,482,000 to $1,187,000, roundabout numbers. So 16.5% to 13%. So we started 2022 behind on where we wanted to be for fund balance again. Reviewing the current 2022 budget shows that we do have a slight upturn in expenses. It's only roughly 1.5%, which is only about like $16,000, but it's early. The revenues are currently tracking with last year's revenues. The issue with that is, with the exception of having those COVID funds come in, we were low on budgeted revenues. If it wouldn't have been for COVID funding, we would not have made our revenues last year. Current areas that I think are going to increase our expenses or have the potential. Obviously, we have hired a new district court judge. With that, you have no idea what that looks like with bonds, cost, fines, fees. There are statutory requirements, but we have had judges in the past history of Roscommon County's 150 years that have waived those until it's been brought to their attention that they are statutory. They are shalls, not mays. The other portion of hiring a new district court judge is, and this is unbudgeted, which is we are taking on both the benefits and expenses related to salary of the district court judge. So that was not something we budgeted for. We do receive partial reimbursement from Roscommon County, but these were not costs that were anticipated in 2022. Hopefully that'll be a wash. Obviously, we're going to have increased gas and electrical costs. If you've noticed at your homes, those have increased almost a third in cost. As a matter of fact, our budget for natural gas has already surpassed what we budgeted for this year based off of last year's. So we do have a potential state unfunded mandate that is going to require all court filings to be e-filed. That goes hand in hand with the other portion of that, which is this new, everything has to come secret, squirrel, encrypted to the state of Michigan, or they won't accept emails from the government, county governments. We also have the cost of the special assessment processes for the lake level control structure. Yes, we will be reimbursed, but if it's not finished in 2022, to put that out there, we'll have expended $150,000 of money until we can receive that back in the actual special assessment process. We also obviously have some potential for some larger maintenance needs. Between you and I and the whole public meeting, in the list that we have received, we don't have money to do anything. The airport, hopefully their boiler doesn't die, because that's not something we have 45,000 for. The RTUs on the annex for 65,000, not something we have money for. County building boilers, again, they're going to have to continue us along. Hopefully next year we could at least replace the boilers. But that's to the tune of 240, that'll have to come from someplace. Some other areas that may help us reduce expenses, they aren't as exciting as the increase in expenses. Our part-time ET person, obviously, Pat works part-time, but Pat works full-time. He has actually continued throughout spring. We anticipated initially that he would retire in March. He's looking at least the summer till now. To quote him directly, he'll be here till he doesn't want to be here anymore. We had budgeted for a full-time position there, so that'll save us like $25,000 if he does stay all year. We did have the benefit of pre-purchasing some PPE for the jail. That is one of the areas that grant that I'm going to be submitting for by the 30th will be reimbursed. So that's about 30,000. So that's money we didn't expect. And then we are going to be hopefully this year applying and receiving a grant for some of the unfunded liability that we had. Obviously, we're going to have to put money into a OPEB account for that small portion of the contract that allows us to do the retiree from 62 to 65. That's in the POAM and COAM contracts for that. We would have to pre-fund that, but then that would give us the ability to apply for some grant funding from the state to offset some of the unfunded liability. The jail is actually currently within their expenditures, and they are slightly below anticipated revenue, but they are going to be receiving that reimbursement, so that will put them right in line. Court cars, again, are slated to be discontinued in October. If that happens, the loss of revenue for 2022 would be roughly $90,000. And then overall for 2023 would be about $270,000. There goes. The child care fund is operating slightly under their expenses, but as we have all learned through the years, one child requiring special care can cost an exceptional amount of funding. Our road patrol fund is actually trending at expenses, but I would guess that we will see a continued increase in those expenses where it's slightly over for gas prices, along with increased training needs as variations of government unfunded mandates come down. E911 is actually a shining star right now. They are doing wonderfully, which is great because a lot of those expensive IT projects over the last 2 years totally dwindled down their fund balance. Where I am at right now, looking at 2022 in my quasi-hesitant, if we could break even, I'll be happy type of mind frame, is that Board of Commissioners, myself, we really need to consider some proactive ideas to maintain our current budget and to look at preparing for, the potential of replacement or something of that nature. So what I'd like to do is two things. The first is I'd like to find a time to meet with Budget and Finance Committee to work through what ideas do we have that should be put into place. So some potential cost savings ideas. And then I would like to have that first meeting in June. We do not have a committee of the whole scheduled, but I would like to schedule a committee of the whole so that we can be prepared if the trend continues to roll some of the Budget and Finance Committee's ideas into action.
Looking at that, do you want to schedule that for the 8th, right after our board meeting?
Okay.
Is that a good time?
Yep.
Is everybody okay with that?
June 8th.
Yep. far as,
Not be here at that board meeting.
what's that?
I will not be at that board meeting on the 8th of June, we're talking.
Don't have a, you want
Doesn't
all,
mean you can't go ahead with
that's
business.
what I was just gonna say, that's just my next question. Do we need all of us or not?
I would say if we can meet as committee and finance, because Commissioner Melvin, you're still on that committee. That would be your input anyhow, correct?
We'll meet prior to that.
Yeah,
Are you available? Are you gonna be gone for a week or two or what?
Yes, 2 weeks. I leave on the 31st of May.
We'd have to go to, we could meet before May then, right?
yes,
Budget and finance, Ken and I and you can meet before that.
yes,
Okay.
yep. If you should just give me a date or 2 dates.
They're gonna have after the board of commissioners.
Ken, what do you got?
We got a meeting on the 25th. We'll both be here then.
The 22nd, you mean?
May,
in May.
we're moving backwards from the 8th of June to have a meeting of budget.
I got a board meeting and then I got an MSU advisory board meeting at noon.
Okay, well,
So we can do it. How about the 24th?
I'm good. And I'm wide open.
Okay, I mean, Jody, time's up to you. I don't care. You want first thing in the morning? You want 10 o'clock in the morning?
What day are we on, the 24th?
24th of May.
Yeah, I like first thing in the morning.
9 o'clock?
9 o'clock?
8:30,
8:30?
Ken's an early bird.
Sure.
Well, everybody has their calendars out. On the 20th, I will be gone all week. I'll be back on the 27th.
You?
Yes.
Ken's gonna be gone on 8th, right? David, you're gonna be gone on 22nd.
Yeah, I'll be gone that whole week. I'll be able to Zoom, but I won't be able to.
Yeah, me too. I could Zoom, but what's the sense in that if you can't vote?
And then, I'm leaving on the 4th of May and I'll be returning to the county on the 15th, so. I will not, the next board meeting, I will Zoom the next board meeting though. From St. Louis.
Ain't no zooming where I'm at.
Huh?
No zooming where I'm at.
I don't wanna go where you're going. If I was you, I wouldn't go either.
So does that mean you'll just participate by Zoom, but Dave will run the meeting or?
David's gonna run the meeting and I'll be on there and I guess I can say something and I can listen, but I'm planning on just listening and not saying anything. How's that?
Yeah, 'cause you can't vote.
Can't vote, so I'm just gonna be there. Okay, so we're set for the 24th, budget and finance, and then we're gonna have a cow on
Hey,
June 8th. Gotcha. All right. Okay, anything else, Jody?
no sirs.
Okay, there's no motions and resolutions. I would, well, this is not what the special meeting's about, so I'll talk to you separately about that, so, all right. Item 8, public comment at this time. Okay, item 9, adjournment.
Move, Mr. Chair.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Milburn, seconded by Mr. Russo. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.